A very large crack has been seen in Africa. This crack has been seen in Kenya, Ethiopia, and Tanzania. In video footages and drone shots, it was seen that entire countries have been divided by a massive crack. This crack didn't spare roads, crops, homes, or cities. Some parts of it are as wide as 10 meters and some as thin as 2 millimeters. In some places, people started filling it with mud, while in others, temporary bridges were built over it. People thought maybe soft soil had settled due to some reason. Welcome once again, viewers, to Discover TV's videos. When we hear the name of the African continent, we immediately think it must be the hottest continent, but that's not true. Africa is located right at the center of Earth, where the prime meridian and equator meet. That exact spot is where the African continent lies. Now, since the equator is closer to the sun, Africa is the hottest continent. But if we talk about the highest recorded temperature, it was in the USA. Africa is the hottest continent, but that doesn't mean it doesn't get cold there. At the place called Ifrane, to 3C has been recorded. When it comes to colors, the African continent presents a unique scene here too. Not just in color, but in every way. Africa is extreme on one hand and mild on the other. For example, the world's 10 poorest countries are also in Africa, and because of them, Africa is called the poorest continent. But it's the same Africa where the world's most precious minerals are found. The same Africa, which is the poorest continent in the world, is home to Gabon's capital Libreville, declared the most expensive city in the year 2000, more expensive than Paris, New York, and Singapore. Hearing all this sounds strange, but Africa is also where Somalia's capital Mogadishu is considered the most dangerous city in the world. Africa's total population is 1.5 billion, but unfortunately, 40% of them are illiterate, meaning they can neither read nor write. On the other hand, the world's oldest university is also found in West Africa, located in the city of Timbuktu, Mali. This university was built 800 to 900 years ago, and during its peak, 25,000 students studied here, while the total population then was only 100,000. It's surprising that the highest twin birth rate is also found in Africa. Here, out of 1,000 births, 50 are twin babies. This is far higher than the international twin birth ratio, but science still doesn't know why this happens only in Africa. On the other side, 1 out of every 14 children born here dies before reaching home. This child mortality rate is the highest in the world, found in Africa. In East Africa, Kenya is particularly famous for its runners. In 2010, Kenyan runners won 126 out of 156 international marathons. Most of these champions belong to the Kalenjin tribe. Scientists are still trying to uncover what's so special about this tribe.
The world's shortest war was also fought in Africa. It lasted only 38 minutes. On the 27th of August 1896, the war between Zanzibar and Great Britain occurred. Here's what happened. On the 25th of August 1896, Sultan Hamid bin Thuwaini suddenly died, poisoned by his own cousin Khalid bin Barghashi, who declared himself the new Sultan of Zanzibar. This new Sultan was supported by Germany, while the British wanted their chosen Sultan. So, the British military gave an ultimatum to vacate the throne by 9 a.m. Khalid bin Barghash refused and positioned 2,800 soldiers outside his palace. At 9 a.m., when the ultimatum expired, British Royal Navy ships opened fire on the Sultan's palace. By 9:37, the palace flag was down. In this 38-minute war, 500 of the Sultan's 2,800 soldiers were killed, while only 1 British sailor was injured. When it comes to Africa, how can we forget Egypt's pyramids? But did you know that Sudan, also an African country, has twice as many pyramids as Egypt? Estimates say there are more than 250 pyramids in Sudan, though their smaller size makes them less popular among tourists. With all this happening in Africa, it's obvious that the continent must be huge. But then, why does it appear so small on the world map? Look at the African continent on this map and then compare it to the American continent. The African continent looks much smaller. But in reality, Africa is far bigger than it appears on maps. Looking at numbers, Africa is about 30 million square kilometers. So, if Africa looks this big on the map, the American continent must be 40 or 50 million square kilometers. But actually, America's area is only 9 million square kilometers, yes, 3 times smaller than Africa. In truth, the world map we use is a simplified version of Earth, not the real one. A perfectly accurate map of the world doesn't exist and cannot be made because the world is round, and accurately portraying continents and their sizes on a flat map is impossible. A good example is a tennis ball wrapped in tape. If we try to lay that tape flat, it will bulge. To make it lie completely flat, we have to stretch it, which changes the area. Similarly, when the round Earth is converted into a map, continents near the poles appear stretched and much bigger than they are. For example, look at Greenland. It looks huge, but it's even smaller than Congo, let alone Africa. Since Africa is close to the equator, on maps, it doesn't appear stretched but shrunk. In reality, it's so big that the entire USA, China, India, and much of Europe could fit inside it. Since we're talking geography, let's dig deeper and ask, has Africa always looked the way it does today? Was there a time when Africa looked completely different? Scientists say every 500 million years, Earth's tectonic plates bring all continents together to form one massive supercontinent. The last time this happened was 200 million years ago, and it was called Pangaea. In this animation, you can see how one supercontinent broke into smaller ones. This theory is further supported by the matching shapes of Eastern South America and Western Africa. They fit together like puzzle pieces. To strengthen this theory, fossils of the Mesosaurus have been found in both South America and Africa, indicating that these continents, now separated by oceans, were once joined. Many species found in the Amazon rainforest of South America also exist in the forests of West Africa. On Google Earth 2, this region of Africa appears just as green as South America. But will the African continent always remain the same? The process of continental separation has been ongoing for millions of years and still continues. In 2018, news started circulating that a massive crack had appeared in Africa. This crack was seen in Kenya, Ethiopia, and Tanzania. In video footages and drone shots, it was seen that entire countries were divided by a massive crack. This crack didn't spare roads, crops, homes, or cities. Some parts were as wide as 10 meters, some as thin as 2 millimeters. In some places, people started filling it with mud, while others built temporary bridges. People thought it was due to soft soil settling. But in reality, scientists say the African continent is splitting into two. Earlier, it was believed that Africa sat on a single tectonic plate, but in 1970, evidence emerged showing the African plate is breaking. Geologists were aware of this, but didn't know it would happen so soon. Now the question arises, is Africa truly splitting into two parts like South America did millions of years ago? No one has an answer yet. There's no doubt that a large portion of East Africa's tectonic plate has already broken off, from the Red Sea to Mozambique, and it is moving about 6 millimeters away from the African continent each year. It's possible that this entire portion could break off and form an island, or a new ocean like the Red Sea might form in between, or the process might stop altogether. Scientists believe whatever happens will take around 50 million years. Whatever may happen in the future, today we can witness this process, continental rift, and we are its eyewitnesses. It's also a reminder of the destructive forces hidden beneath the Earth. But deep within Africa lie not just destructive forces, but also 1/3 of the world's natural resources. Whenever rare minerals are sought, scientists look to African soil first, as they are confident they'll find them here even if nowhere else. For example, columbite tantalite, also known as coltan, is a metal used in modern electronics. It doesn't rust and has a very high melting point. Capacitors made from this metal are found in every electronic device today. It is estimated that 80% of this metal's reserves are in Africa. Similarly, bauxite used in aluminum production is also found in Africa. And the world's most precious gemstone, diamond, is mined the most in Africa. All this is just a small part of Africa's natural resources. When talking about Africa, the topic isn't complete without the Sahara Desert. The Sahara alone hides secrets that can rival all of Africa. One such structure, visible even from space, is a 40-kilometer wide circular mark known as the Eye of the Sahara or the Richat Structure. What secrets lie beneath it? The mysterious stone from King Tutankhamun's necklace, found nowhere else in the world, was discovered in the middle of the Sahara. What existed here before the Sahara, and how did it turn into such a massive sea of sand, and only in North Africa, while the rest of Africa remains lush and tropical? With all these features, the Sahara is also the reason why, thousands of kilometers away, the Amazon rainforest remains green and full of life. But how? You will learn all this and more in the next episode of Secrets of Africa. We hope you will like and share this Discover TV video just as much. Thank you for your loving comments. See you in the next amazing video.